are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Do not come. Do not come.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat, our Sunday night shit show. Pat, how are you? What are you drinking, my friend?
First off, you don't even know what just happened and why we're 5 seconds late.
Oh, I didn't even know we were. Not only that, I didn't know we were 5 seconds late. What happened?
This is literally the shit show because right before I hit the button, right after I hit the button to go live, I heard a squirting sound. And a couple feet over from me, my cat just handled the business. And
what? Just on the floor?
The shit show. Yes. So I will clean it up as soon as we get a break. But
oh my God.
Fun.
That naughty little girl. It
was the other guy, Pablo.
Oh,
blaming Pablo. He barely gets talked about, but goddamn it.
Jeez.
So it's the shit show is real.
You are way calmer than I am. That I would be so annoyed, and you're always so nice about it.
Oops.
That's very good. Different levels of tolerance.
Rolling with it, but since you did bring up the beer real quick, I'm gonna shout out to Uncle Chan's Enchanted Elixir by Moxa.
Nice.
And I got it because the name is a tribute to the man who brought the owner of the brewery's family over from Thailand and sponsored them, Uncle Chan.
Oh, that's nice.
Here's to immigrants making my beer.
Yes, and making our country a better place. Absolutely. Runs, what's happening is people are like, oh, sorry, Runs, and I didn't know what they were talking about. I am not really a football fan, so I have no say in anything, but I'm judging from some of the comments in the chat that it's not going well for Rams fans, or maybe it is. I don't know. And yes, a true shit show or a piss show. It's our shit and piss.
It's a real shit show tonight. The ambiance here is just shit.
It's a lot going on there. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's just getting worse and worse. I mean, last week we were pushing so heavily the amazing turnout, or the push for a big turnout for the one day of striking in Minneapolis, which I think they had upwards of 50,000 people on the streets. There were solidarity protests in other cities. And then the very next morning, they murdered another peaceful protester. So that is where we are. We will get to all of that. But so that Pat can quickly clean that pee up, let's just remind everyone, please, to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. Pat, handle your business while I put on our cheers. We actually have so many cheers to choose from because there are so many people doing such beautiful, heroic work on so many different levels. So this is one clip, and this is a person in Minneapolis who is silk screening people's clothes, food, anything they bring in for free with anti-ICE slogans.
I'm Art Price, and I am putting free prints on the shirts and other fabric that anyone brings us to print on. I decided to start doing this because I have this cooperative screen printing studio space that I run, and I didn't have a lot of shirts, but I had a lot of equipment and ink, and I was very, very angry. The response from the community has been absolutely incredible. I've had a group chat of volunteers more than 50 people deep. I have been able to arrange for people who don't feel safe coming to get a shirt to have a shirt taken to them. I've had folks donating time, money, food, everything. I've had people coming in bringing whistles. We've had people bring by red cards to distribute to people as well. We've got cookies that had sprayed on them ice just on the cookies. I have had some people show up in ways that I have never experienced before in my life. I have felt more in community in the last week than I have in the last 5 years. If someone wants to get plugged in and doesn't know where they fit, they should find a place where people are already doing something and talk to the people who are doing that. Just because you haven't done anything before doesn't mean you can't do anything. As Jake the dog once said, being really bad at something is the first step to being kind of good at something. And if you show up, they will put you to work. There's work to be done, and we will show up.
I love that. And I also love what he said, like, if you want to get involved, but you're not sure what to do, just go where other people are doing something already. Like, things are already happening. There are already community projects and people who've been fighting this for a lot longer than some of us have been. So that I thought also was a really important message, because I think it's, and also just to do anything. Like, some people can't do the frontline stuff for whatever reason, but you can do bringing waters and cases of waters and snacks to, the donut shop where or his shop, or where, like, you can just do something. So yeah.
Yeah. And specifically with his project, what I love is that you can wear a shirt, you can bring your shirt. And if you're even being passive, you're spreading the message that matters. I mean, we don't want to be too passive, but like, it does matter that, like, me as an electrician, I go around workers and have immigration supporting shit on and things like that. Like, it really, you got to break down this narrative that it's just some wacky leftists supporting this. It's everybody. It's almost everybody.
It's really almost everybody. I saw video feed from a few different games coming out of Minneapolis tonight. And at each one, as they do a moment of silence for Alex Pretti, the 37-year-old nurse who was killed yesterday, there's a silence and then chants of either ICE out or fuck ICE. And I am wearing my Chinga la Migra shirt right now, which I also love to wear out in Los Angeles, because these are really scary times. And obviously the immigrant community has been facing this way longer than some of us, but it's pretty clear that they are casting a very wide net. It's not just about immigrants. It's not just about Black and brown people anymore. It's just like, it's everybody.
And I also want to say amen to the folks, even it was just a 1-day strike, but it does matter, and it's contagious. And the organizing that's happening in Minneapolis is amazing right now. They've got communities. Huge. Every community is in touch with the nearby community. Yep. They're basically tracking ICE. They let them know ICE just came, ICE just left, they're headed your direction. Yep. That's what we need. That's the model right there. We need to
replicate that throughout the country. Yeah. I know that there are union leaders, like in Massachusetts now, calling for a general strike. I think you're right. I think that once those systems and networks are in place, then it's easier to build on, and they are really in place. So let's you are muted.
Well, when that network is set up, it retains its identity post the issue of ICE. It can be we're gathering now, but we all have to watch out for the police because we're gathering for healthcare.
Right.
And they don't want us to demand healthcare, and that makes us a violent protester. And, so it's intersectional. All these issues are always intersectional with leftist causes.
They really are. And I also do think, I'm seeing game scores. It is spreading across the spectrum, the political spectrum, but they are leftist causes. And I think that's also really important when people try to act as though there's not a difference, especially in light of saying goodbye to the great Michael Prenti yesterday. There's absolutely a difference between left and right. It doesn't mean that sometimes the right doesn't join us as we are fighting for those anti-capitalist, pro working class, pro dignified life causes, because I think there are a lot more people on the left than even some people know themselves to be.
Yeah. And the difference is
words matter. Like those ideologies, it matters to be specific. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it does matter. It's like if you have a rally on an issue and a Nazi supports your issue, you don't give the Nazi the mic, because he's also going to preach to your leftists about how the Jews are bad people because of their heritage or something, you know.
Yeah. Have you noticed? Yeah. And closing the borders and white only. Yeah. There's a couple possible overlaps. And that is a way to also educate people, right? If you can hook them on an issue or two, but you can't allow them to co-opt that issue as the gateway to their right-wing issue. Yes. Okay. So let's spin before we really delve into another day of horror.
An early timeline cleanse. We may need a lot of timeline cleanses today.
We truly might. We'll get some good music going.
Amen. This is from M Rebellion.
Every day them get up and look on the TV, them read the newspaper, them want to see the truth. But them can't see the truth, because the truth will not be found there. That is why the man said this revolution will be telepathic.
Woman dead on the pavement. Another one screaming like her insides have been ripped out and thrown on the concrete. Men with badges standing around like there's nothing to see here. People online start talking immediately. Rules. Procedure. What she should have done. Everyone's suddenly an expert in staying calm while staring down the barrel of a gun. Sure, she shouldn't have tried to drive away. In a perfect world, you sit still, keep your hands visible, say yes sir, no sir, call a lawyer and wait your turn to be processed like meat. There has been no shortage of people explaining what the woman should have done, how she should have remained still, how she should have trusted the men confronting her. Those arguments are tidy, life rarely is, but nobody panics in a perfect world. People panic in this one. Only someone who's never felt real fear would expect perfect obedience at gunpoint. I saw the video, didn't want to, did anyway, that's how it goes now. This wasn't about law, it wasn't about safety. It was about power asserting itself and daring the rest of us to accept it as normal.
Yeah, there's a lot of calls for peace, remain peaceful, stay calm for the people who are being slaughtered and rounded up and terrorized, not for the people who are supposed to be trained to de-escalate and to protect and serve. It's truly amazing to see, and anybody calling for peaceful protests can fuck off. Like, nobody should be tone policed in how they're fighting a fascist state, just like nobody should talk about how condemning Hamas. There are going to be people who make mistakes while they are protesting. Of course there are, or who are doing it differently from how I might, or you might, or whatever. But like, at this point, it's resistance. Like, that is like truly resistance, not fucking Liz Warren resistance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But you know, it's amazing to see their narrative fall apart. Like their justification right now is, well, you shouldn't go out with a gun. You know,
Kyle Rittenhouse. Why would you come to a? Yeah.
You shouldn't conceal carry a gun at a protest.
Means you.
That's a real weird narrative to push to your libertarian Second Amendment rights people here, isn't it?
And they're also saying, like, because he had a gun at a protest, he meant to massacre all law enforcement. And if that's where we're going with this, great. I mean, good luck to you going in the future. Also, don't ever give any of these people a moment of, quarter at all. They're liars. They're hypocrites. They are just pushing whatever they want at the time they want it. I will say it's interesting to me that they're even pretending, while we're all seeing what's happening in front of us, that they even care about the narrative. Like, that is the part that I really don't understand. Why do they care what we think?
They just have to have some justification. I mean, they have to, they're in front of microphones all day. This is the best they got. This is it. That's just the best they got. But they're so incompetent. Sorry, I got to turn my ringer off here. They're so incompetent that they're shooting themselves in the foot with their explanations. They're losing the libertarians who are like, wait a minute.
Right.
I'm just bringing a gun to a protest. You got to have more than that. Even Fox News, when they were interviewing that little Nazi, they called him out on it. They're like, well, yeah, but just he had the gun, but like, what did he do?
Yeah.
Threatening anyone with the gun?
Yeah.
And he had nothing.
Nothing. Was that the Maria Bartolomeo,
Yeah.
whatever the hell?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess for anybody who hasn't seen what we're talking about, warning, this is deeply upsetting and it's been shown over and over. So if you've seen it, you can take a minute and a half to pour another drink or take another hit of weed or whatever strikes your fancy. But this is in slow motion because, most of the video is very fast and it's hard to see exactly what's happening. What happens right before this video that we're about to show is you see Alex Pretti there trying to direct traffic very calmly, and he's holding a phone. That is what is happening before this. They push a woman to the ground. He goes over to help her. Sorry, now I see the words. Okay. They sprayed him right in his face. Which they had
this other guy comes up and punches him in the face with the can that he used to spray him with, by the way.
What this video isn't showing is before the guy shoots him, a different agent removes his gun. This is a different angle just to see. So he's standing in between and he gets pepper sprayed, but he's trying to protect the woman they've just shoved to the ground. And then they put 10 shots into his back while he is completely subdued on the ground. 4 agents holding him down. His gun has been removed. There is another video. It was just hard to kind of decipher what was happening, where the agents say, "But where's the gun?" And somebody else says, "We already got it off of them." It was really hard to hear it. This shows agents clapping after he's shot.
It's like Call of Duty. So cool, huh? Did you shoot? Take the shot. If they kick it, you take the shot. Hold up. It just blows that way. Fucking idiots.
And yeah, I mean, it is horrifying, Gwen, that we are seeing snuff films constantly to stay informed. And I feel, part of 2.5 years now of a live streamed genocide has forced us all to watch this, because otherwise we know that our media lies to us, even though, in this one case, they seem to be trying to get to the truth with the Trump administration. But it is sort of amazing to hear, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash saying, they're going to lie to us. We're watching it right in front of us. We see the videotape. And all I can think of is Matt Miller and John Kirby and Anthony Blinken, standing there defending putting 300 plus bullets into a car with a 5-year-old who's sitting amongst the people they've already slaughtered and the med workers who were coming to save her, right? Like, we've been told not to believe our lying eyes. I mean, much longer than 2.5 years, but it's come into high profile these last 2.5 years.
Yeah. And I mean, in Miller's case, the guy was writing a book now. He's saying, yeah, it was all bullshit, but it was what Biden's administration wanted. Well, you think if you're CNN, you would call out, we parroted his lies and gave him cover. That's newsworthy. I mean,
yeah. Yep. And yes, he was clapping. And no, there is
last guy was fucking bitch. Now we got this guy clapping, 10 shots and a guy on the ground when the gun is away from him, that probably just, they saw it in his holster on his side. He wasn't going for it at all. He had a camera in his hand. He was already sprayed in the face with the bear spray. So he wasn't, there's no way he's going to be able to pull a gun out and harm people at that point. He'd been hit in the head probably 10 times with the can as well.
Yeah. He was on the ground on his knees. His back was to the man who shot him 10 times. Well, Jen says 11. I only knew 10, but, and yeah, they did this to Philando Castile. We all saw that video also with his child in the car.
Well, apparently, I think some of the shots came from at least one other person. They're saying that, they're like sympathy shots or whatever the catchphrase is these days, like that's the news narrative that, somebody shoots and the cops are defensive. They think they're threatened, so they all shoot, kind of thing. But whatever.
Of course, they right away took to social media before even, investigating, and they tried to block out Minnesota police from the scene, but I think that has been prevented. So the Minnesota law enforcement will still have access. This was the statement right away at 9:05 a.m. Central Time, as DS law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted operation in Minneapolis against an illegal alien wanted for violent assault. An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun seen here. The officers attempted to disarm the suspect, but the armed suspect violently resisted. More details on the armed struggle are forthcoming. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics on scene immediately delivered medical aid to the subject, but was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines and no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. About 200 rioters arrived at the scene and began to obstruct and assault law enforcement on the scene. Crowd control measures were deployed for the safety of the public and law enforcement. The situation is evolving and more information is forthcoming. So ICE has a right to defend itself, just like Israel, apparently.
I mean, to come out from the government forum, as the government and say, editorialize, this looks like he wanted to do maximum damage with no proof whatsoever. Like, that's just something they put in there. You don't have a manifesto from this guy. This guy's a nurse, first off. He's a nurse on site filming. Like, I don't know, if I'm going to do a massacre, I'm probably not going to put myself in the middle of the street and film.
And he was like directing cars, he was like a crossing guard, basically trying to help people. And the only reason he went over there was, why did they push that woman? There was no reason for that. Just randomly went over and shoved her to the ground.
Oh, violently. Like
what?
It wasn't just a little get out of the way. It was like, I want you to hit the ground hard and be hurt.
Yeah. Jezen, thank you. Yes. They disarmed him first, got him on his knees, and then shot him into the back.
And clapped about it.
And yeah, absolutely. They are disappearing Native Americans, immigrants. Unbelievable. The Minnesota Department of Corrections has pushed back, though, even against the premise for the raid that they alleged that they were trying to carry out. They are launching a new website to address ongoing misinformation by DHS. They say the Department of Corrections names Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino directly in a statement. In the hours following the shooting, U.S. Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino held a press conference asserting that the operation was targeting an individual named Jose Huerta Huma and characterized him as having a significant criminal history. Because federal statements have repeatedly included inaccurate information about Minnesota custody and criminal records, the DOC reviewed available records to determine whether the individual referenced had any connection to Minnesota State Prison custody. Here are from the publicly available Minnesota court data. The individual identified by federal officers has never been in Minnesota Department of Corrections custody. DOC and court records show no felony commitments associated with this. Public Minnesota court records reflect only misdemeanor level traffic offenses from more than a decade ago. The individual is not currently under DOC supervision. So lie after lie after lie.
It's just amazing. I mean, nothing they say is true, and there are no consequences to it. Like, the only consequence we're expected to we should expect is some political backlash in the elections. Like, that's it. Like, because people don't like it, they won't vote for them again. Well, that doesn't work when we have 2.5 more years of this left, at least, right? It's not acceptable.
Also, what are Democrats going to do? They just in the House helped approve more funding for DHS.
Of course they did.
Navigated it perfectly, strategized, so they'd have 7 people, Democrats, voting to fund DHS, and another, I think, 6 who were absent. They missed the vote entirely. It's not that important. We just have armed Gestapo slaughtering our own citizens.
And to me, look, you would have the public support if it's like, okay, a group of people are there to get this violent criminal, if that was true. But your problem is you've created a system where we as the public can't even differentiate any of that because you're going after too many innocent people, which is everybody.
That's right.
If you want us to give you permission and safe passage to get the bad guy, we have to trust you, and we don't trust you.
Yeah. No
and
badges.
You keep proving you should not be trusted because you're shooting fucking protesters.
I mean, it is truly jaw-dropping to see how little they are doing about anything. Before we move on, just because, so much attention is put to the horrors. And I think I just saw in the chat people referring to a video, which was lovely, of him, Alex Pretti, who is a registered nurse, giving last rites to an armed force veteran, a moment of silence in a hospital. But so this is Alex Pretti, and his parents released a statement, which I think is also important to see, just because, we're getting all of the lies from the administration. We are heartbroken, but also very angry. Alex was a kind-hearted soul who cared deeply for his family and friends, and also the American veterans whom he cared for as an ICU nurse at the Minnesota VA hospital. Alex wanted to make a difference in this world. Unfortunately, he will not be with us to see his impact. I do not throw around the hero term lightly. However, his last thought and act was to protect a woman. The sickening lies told about our son by the administration are reprehensible and disgusting. Alex is clearly not holding a gun when attacked by Trump's murdering and cowardly ICE thugs. He had his phone in his right hand, and his empty left hand is raised above his head while trying to protect the woman ICE just pushed down, all while being pepper sprayed. Please get the truth out about our son. He was a good man. Thank you. I can't imagine having to watch that video. I mean, we have watched so many parents over the last several years have to say the most horrifying goodbyes to their children. It's just not the way the world is supposed to be, even though it's the way it's always been. But geez.
And really, you know, that the gun is just one part of the issue. Like it could be anybody. You don't have to have a gun next time. I mean, the
Renee Good
the
didn't
car
have a
was a
gun.
weapon for Renee Good.
Exactly.
So your presence is justification for these fucking evil scumbag people that need to face the wall.
That's right. And, you know, and what we say all the time, what all of us say is, you know, and this is, again, I just feel like I always have to say this is not to minimize the hell that Palestinians are living through and have lived through for decades, but it's, you know, it's coming here. The imperial boomerang is real, and we are all Palestinians. They will give us the same treatment. That was the test bubble. We are all terrorists. We are all going to be judged on pre-crimes that are entirely in the minds of these genocidal maniacs. It's
yeah, I that reminded me of what Gwen said earlier. Where have we seen this? Targeting medical professionals.
Yep.
Trying to render aid.
Yeah.
The IOF.
So this is I mean, here's the crazy thing is a couple days ago, I think this was on Thursday, this video came out of an ICE agent like threatening this woman who's just videotaping him.
What you guys are doing here? Yeah. Look at them. Look at them. The ICE is here, guys. Be careful. Be careful. They're over here.
It's not illegal to record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Why are you taking my information down?
Because we have a nice little database.
Oh, good.
And now you're considered a domestic terrorist. So
For videotaping you? Are you crazy?
Now you're considered a domestic terrorist.
And this is not just blather and you know, rhetoric. This is actually going to happen, and it is happening.
Oh yeah.
The AI integration with law enforcement and all these systems they're putting in place, they are getting you. They're like, you're getting points for being at so many protests and whatnot. And it's going to be used as justification. Maybe we're not all shot in the head and the back 12 times, but maybe we can't get work.
Yeah.
You know,
they'll just shut off your financial, your digital ID will prevent you from getting in anywhere, and they'll shut off all of your access to anything financial.
And I mean, the first step is you just can't fly anywhere. Sorry, you're not equal citizen anymore. You can no longer fly because you're a domestic terrorist, because you were at 6 protests, and that's the quota.
They did that to Paul Robeson. They kept him, so he wasn't able to leave the country. You know, like they're all different ways of destroying people's lives. It's really
but that's
yeah.
I think that stuff is why it's so important not to think it's just this administration. It's both sides. Both sides are still taking all the AI money that's putting all these systems of surveillance in place.
Absolutely.
And they're both sides are for not regulating it. And so you get a system that's going to flag us because we're upset with our government. And that's what both parties want.
I mean, Joe Biden, we showed this, we've showed it repeatedly since, but in 2021 came into office, and one of the first things he did on the White House government website was put up a list of domestic violent extremists. And it was people who were protesting climate. It was people who were anti-capitalist. It was Antifa. It was anarchists. It was, I mean, if you are a domestic violent extremist because you're anti-capitalist, that's probably a majority of this country at this point. Nobody is in favor. Look what capitalism is doing.
Honestly, that's the one thing on a personal level that protects me somewhat, gives me some comfort, is that we're just one voice in all the cacophony of people who hate our fucking government at this point. So we won't even stand out, you and I. I mean, we will be in the same boat as everybody, but like,
yeah.
You know, if I say something offensive,
our ranks are growing for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Bovino talking about actions having consequences. I mean, they really, what they want is complete power and respect, and for everyone to fall in line and just follow orders. I mean,
Not happening.
Yeah, like
ever.
Didn't you learn after we shot that woman in the face? Didn't you learn? And then Trump saying, she didn't show them respect. Talking about the prime minister of Switzerland, kept saying, no, no, no. She just rubbed me the wrong way.
When politicians, community leaders, and some journalists engage in that heated rhetoric we keep talking about, when they make the choice to vilify law enforcement, calling law enforcement names like Gestapo or using the term kidnapping, that is a choice that is made. There are actions and consequences that come from those choices. And then when someone chooses to listen to a politician, a so-called journalist, a community leader that spouted that type of vilification towards law enforcement or anything else, when you choose to listen to that, that is a choice, and there are consequences and actions there also. I think we saw that yesterday.
The gaslighting, obviously, he's acting like there was another violent attack against us ICE agents, but we all saw it. That's 2 in a row that are just, you brought the violence. There's no reaction. You just proved everything we said about you was right twice.
I mean, actions have consequences. The reason that we call them Nazis is because they're acting like Nazis or IDF soldiers. The reason that we say that people are being kidnapped is because they are being, and we saw this, in 2020 with the Black Lives Matter protests also. A van would pull up and these thugs, who the hell knows who they are, come out, take a person and throw them in a van and drive away. People can't find where their loved ones are.
No, and the level of that is just off the charts compared to how it's ever been. I mean, 1,200 people missing from Alligator Island with no accountability. That's 1,200 people that could be fucking dead. And even if they're not all dead, clearly, but
who knows? But who knows?
Do you have a system that allows that big of an air rate?
Also, if they're not
don't know where they are.
They're certainly being, they're human trafficked, right? They're being trafficked. Humans are being trafficked. Because that's the whole strategy, is every time they fill a bed, that detention center or private prison gets money. So they get them to Texas and they go to Louisiana, then they go somewhere else. That little 5-year-old boy who was kidnapped from Minnesota, his family didn't know where he was for 24 hours.
No, but you're absolutely right.
Even imagine.
The system is making money on this, and there's no organization to the system. So if you're Alligator Island and you're making $400 a day for every immigrant you have, you hold them as long as you can, and then you say, well, now we have to send them back to their state of origin or something, and then that state of origin is going to get another $200 while they're there. And it's just a big old, like, how long can we delay justice? And when you have 1,200 missing and nobody gives a fuck, you can delay it forever.
Yeah.
So Democrats, if this is one thing Congress should be on the hardest, this is the clearest case of something they could do something the fuck about.
And they're doing this. It's so duplicitous and like snaky. They are saying, the people who are saying, okay, I don't want to abolish, but I don't want to give more funding. I'm certainly not going to increase the funding. The increase happened last year. It was supposed to be a one-time thing. That's what they're voting on now. It would maintain it at the huge jump that they got. So they're not even talking about reverting to the funding that it was just a year ago.
It's like, it's Obamacare. We're going to slow the increase in the funding.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're going to celebrate it.
Yeah.
But newsflash, when you just gave them $170 fucking billion, you don't need more money. Like, just stopping the money is not enough. How about we're taking back the $170 billion?
Yeah. And just fucking defund the whole thing. And let's feed people and give them healthcare.
Yeah. We're going to Doge you. Hey, ICE, welcome to Doge. Justify why justify why three Minnesotans murdered, actually. Why that, how is
How's that making
even
it
if what
safer?
you say is correct and you got these two violent criminals, out of the whole fucking state
Right.
taken away somehow, you just killed 2-3 citizens here. Like if you don't care about them,
Yeah.
make the math work for it. The math doesn't math on any of this stuff. It's
And the
just
whole
terrorism.
city is not feeling safe. People aren't going to school. People are terrified. Even when people have their documents, I mean, we're watching video of them saying, I have my passport. I'm a US citizen. And you're like, great, great, great. We're going to take you down to the station or to the detention center, and then we'll sort it all out. Because you get them there, and then you get your coin or a bonus. So you're detaining people for hours who weren't the target in the first place, even when your target is a lie, but okay, weren't the target in the first place, are US citizens or are not even dangerous immigrants who possibly are either here illegally or possibly are, awaiting their hearing for an asylum case or whatever it is. But even when it's a US citizen, like that boy who they took from Target, what was it, 6 hours later, they released him a few blocks down. They had bashed his head in. He's just walking around. US citizen who kept saying, I'm a US citizen. You're right there at Target. They have his paperwork somewhere. Like, if you really care. But then they went to getting their money. And then, speaking of actual crime, they deported accidentally a man who was the prime suspect in the largest jewel heist in US history. He was up for trial, but volunteered to be deported after being detained by ICE, and he avoided criminal charges for $100 million heist. I mean,
I don't even think that's an accident. He probably gave Trump $1 million, and he'll give him $2 million to come back. He'll buy a visa.
Very, very well be. Yeah. The other thing that they're doing, and there are so many parallels to what the IOF does, using food to bait people. Minnesota families at the Ann Sullivan STEAM School in Minneapolis received a message today notifying them that ICE agents sent flyers offering food support for families. This is the message that the school sent out. Hello, Sullivan families. We have learned that ICE is sending out flyers offering food support to families for your safety. Do not respond to these offers. If your family is in need of support, please contact the school and we will connect you with one of our school social workers. I mean,
yeah, these people are, this is so vile. They're putting cops in the position of being the good guys, like we've said before, which they're not.
Killing me.
But I've seen one of the states that's under some freezing threats recently. The cops came out and said, hey, we have warming centers. There will be no ice. They're doing public service announcements saying,
yep,
we don't want, and good on them, at least as a city. I don't know if I'm not going to say there's a good cop involved, but somebody good involved is saying, please come. You can get medical treatment and stay warm and not freeze to death in the fucking winter. Like,
I mean, and even like the National Guard is there. What I would like them to be doing is, I mean, they don't have that, but like I want somebody to be arresting the criminals, these ICE thugs who are, battering people, killing people, harassing them, taking their pictures of their face to put inside of a Palantir data traction site, but using food as a weapon is disgusting. And we saw that before, right? I mean, that was the whole Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, death traps. So you're luring people. Now they're using food as bait. They're using people's own children as bait.
Yeah, where'd they get these tactics? What a fucking mystery. What a mystery. And all the discourse is now like one of these guys is going to get Luigi'd. And I cannot, I'm going to be excited as fuck when, like, I'm going to build it. It'll be in our clip on the intro when one of them gets Luigi, because honestly, it's us versus them. And you got what you got coming from. There's a good cop out there somewhere. There's not a good ICE agent out there anywhere. Not a single fucking one. And I'm not in love with the good cop. He's still fucking wrong. But
I know it's really such a fucking.
It's a different project. This is like you signed up to do evil, period. This idea that you just went in there with good intentions. You are not in ICE with good intentions. You are evil, or the money is the driver. Either way, the fucking wall.
Yeah. I mean, the thoughts that course through my mind as I'm watching all of these suited up, Gestapo agents walking around with their body, whatever armor, but they don't have anything around their heads.
Yeah, it's all cosplay for these fucking mall cop.
Right.
Bitches.
I'm just saying.
Racist. Yeah,
they aren't wearing bulletproof vests over their faces.
If I was a bullet.
Jason, thank you for the super chat. Anthony Aguilar has spoken out. He is continuing to speak out. And right before we came on, we got a message from him that we just have to confirm, but that he's coming on our show on Wednesday. We're very excited. He did just announce his run for Congress. And, he's done such heroic work speaking out against the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, the training of the IDF soldiers, the mercenaries from U.S. motorcycle gang groups that are heading over there just to continue the slaughter. And, I'm very interested to hear what his overall platform is, because obviously we're very, we're thrilled about the courage that he has shown in being a whistleblower against the complicity of the U.S. government in this genocide. So we are very excited. He'll be coming on Wednesday. Okay, so there's a little bit more just, ICE. This is crazy. From Pam Bondi, writing to Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota, saying that ICE would leave the state if Minnesota turns over its voter files to the Trump administration. I mean,
these people, they're just incompetent, like just from an optics standpoint,
right?
That should not be a part of the discourse.
Yeah.
Like they're so bad at politics. They're just, what they have is evil. They're trying to placate their white supremacist motherfuckers, right. The last of the MAGA folks that think the election was stolen, the last hangers on.
Right.
Well, all you hangers on are going to be in the bunker too.
Yeah. I hope.
And you're going to be in the bunker with,
because you know what?
The Hitler bunker we're talking
President
about.
Gavin Newsom will get in there and say, no, we just have to look forward. We're not going to prosecute. Yeah.
Norms and traditions are we don't prosecute people that were
the
Nazis.
War criminals and the Nazis. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but it clearly, the obsession with having lost to Joe Biden is really persistent with the man in charge. So this doesn't sound good. Internal documents show ICE is planning a major expansion of its detention and transfer network centered in Minnesota with capacity across 5 Midwest states. We've talked again and again about how these centers are not intended long-term for immigrants. They are intended for the domestic terrorists that we will all be joining the ranks of, and slave labor is what is going to be happening. And then reports out of Fort Bliss in Texas, where they are like in horrific conditions and also using sexual torture, very similar again to the Israeli torture dungeons. Migrants held at Fort Bliss suffering physical abuse, unsafe conditions, human rights groups claim. Medical neglect, detainees reported delayed or denied medical, dental, and mental health care, failure to administer prescription medication on time or at all, despite serious chronic conditions, food and hygiene. Conditions are described as substandard and unsanitary, insufficient food portions, spoiled or inedible meals, lack of adequate hygiene supplies such as soap and clean clothes, unsanitary sleeping and living spaces, restricted access to legal counsel, access to attorneys and legal resources are severely restricted or effectively denied. The facility reportedly lacks a functioning law library. Detainees have limited or non-private phone access, and legal visits are often blocked or delayed. Limited access to recreation. Detainees report extremely limited access to outdoor recreation or fresh air. Many say they've gone weeks or months without seeing the sky or being allowed outside, violating standards for detainee well-being. They interviewed one young boy, a teenager who uses Samuel as a pseudonym for his safety, told attorneys he was beaten by officers, sustained injuries across his body, and broke his front tooth after being slammed to the ground. Samuel attested one officer grabbed my testicles and firmly crushed them, while another forced his fingers deep into my ears. He said he felt dizzy and fought to remain conscious, while an officer laughed at him for having a chipped tooth and said Samuel was like a little girl. He lost consciousness and was transported to a hospital by ambulance.
You know, whether you're here legally or not, the Constitution grants people rights. That's not up for debate. The Constitution flat out says you're here, you have rights as a person.
Yep.
And we're not giving these people even the bare minimum rights we give our prisoners, which is an hour of sunlight a day. Like, and that's like the bare fucking minimum to be treated as a human being. And we're letting this happen. Starvation, sexual assault, rape.
And, you know, just like in Israel, that right to rape protest, I mean, there have been so many rapes, but the one that was caught on camera that was shown across the world, and, you know, in their Knesset, they talked about how the head rabbi said that it was justified to rape people who were terrorists, part of the Nakba. And the man who was the victim of that rape was released recently with no charges. So they could not even find a tangential connection to being Hamas. So
meanwhile, culturally, they celebrated him. They celebrated the rapist in Israel.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they were the heroes. Like, hey, you're not going to stand up to this woke anti-rape Palestinians propaganda, are you?
I mean, the parallels are so rampant. Anthony, we love you too. I love you, Lila and Pat. Hopefully we can discuss it all on Wednesday. I'm running for us, all of us. I cannot do nothing when we are all in existential danger. We will prevail. Cheers to you, my friend. I hope so. You're giving us all a lot of hope. So thank you. Thank you. The crazy thing is, in the midst of all of this, I mean, this is, you know, I think he's considered a liberal hero, liberal hero of the New York Times. Thomas Friedman writes, today, Minneapolis and Gaza now share the same violent language. Hamas and ICE also share one very visible trait that I never thought I'd see in the United States. Almost all of their foot soldiers wear masks. My experience as a reporter in the Middle East taught me that people wear masks because they are up to something bad and don't want their faces captured on camera. I saw it often in Beirut and in Gaza. I never expected to see it in Minneapolis, since one of America's domestic policing forces charged with defending the Constitution and the rule of law felt the need to hide their identities. There is so much wrong in this one small-minded paragraph, but the reason that the Hamas fighters and Hezbollah wear those masks is because of the surveillance state that the U.S., Israel has imposed on them. They have all of their data. They have facial recognition. They have cameras on every corner. They're doing it to hide their identity because Israel will then employ another AI, Lavender, where's daddy, or daddy's home, and destroy a whole apartment building if they think that one person whose face they recognized might have gone into that building or into a mosque or into a store. I mean, that's why they hide their faces. All of his years there, what the hell is he talking about?
His connection to Hamas is just a pathetic way to reframe this as some sort of pro-Israel, like what? Like, it doesn't hold up. The guy's a fucking idiot.
I mean, truly.
New York Times, like all they do now is publish the absolute worst propagandists that exist.
It is truly disgusting. The fact that he would put that out there, in the whole article, sorry, because I'm looking for the with their backs turned. Is this the one? Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure I had the right one. He does say a few things about Netanyahu and Trump and Hamas all wanting to hold on to power, but this is what the official website of the IDF looks like. Notice how all of those soldiers have their heads turned away from the camera. And this was from a year ago. It's because there's these new rules were put out there to protect their IDF soldiers who are traveling overseas, who are facing allegations of war crimes. So the exact same reason, it's because that, in their country, they're heroes. But in the rest of the world, people see them for the Nazis that they are. And that's how our own country feels about ICE agents, which again, actually, it makes me happy that they realize how hated they are within their own country, our ICE agents. Right. This is not a popular endeavor by the Trump administration.
No, and that probably is the difference. In Israel, they have the public support for everything they're doing, mostly. Yep. Where here, they don't. But when you're a government actor, you need your face out there. I mean, if an ICE agent needs to hide their face, well, judges who send people to death and to 50 years in prison and, gangs, and they put themselves at great risk to do that. Their face and name is on the docket and signed right in front of everybody. It's, these mall cops can't have their faces in public. This is ridiculous. And if you run any organization where you have to mask your people for the government, you're fucking evil. You are doing things wrong. You are not. The public hates these fucks. Like every one of them is going to, by the time we're done with this shit, they're all going to be so ashamed and ostracized from society that they're going to go fund each other with their little racist shit. But that's it. That's all they got is
Bill Ackman will pay their
they got some rich
retirement
racists that'll give them some money, but that's it.
I mean, can you imagine Bill Ackman, whose wife is a scientist at MIT, who runs around, before October 7th in the high spy, whatever, corporate lib circles, gave $10,000 to Jonathan Ross, the agent who killed Renee Good. They are disgusting. Jezen, my goodness, thank you. You must be drinking a lot again tonight. We like it when you drink. Thank you for all the membership.
Jezen, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And then, there's been so much documentation that ICE trains with the IDF, this deadly exchange, hundreds of law enforcement to Israel to learn worst practices from the IDF. That is where they're going. Our cop cities were modeled after their little Gaza in the West Bank.
And then, the AI part is such a huge piece of this because it's embedded in all of our systems now. And it's all embedded. It's an Israel project along with the people who bought our government, which is the tech bros, but they both stand to get rich off policing us. Like they don't make money if they don't catch people.
That's right.
You got to catch people. You got to find some villains, and we're all villains. And they want us to shut the fuck up about the economy more than anything.
I forgot that. You're right, Philip Blair. Thomas Friedman was on that panel when Van Jones laughed about the scrolling through the dead Gaza baby. Hilarious joke. Okay. Is there anything else on ICE, or should we? I mean, there still can be more, but do you want to spin and come back? Because it's been an hour. What do you think?
Sure. Let's transition. Instead of spinning, this is ICE related. So
okay, good.
You know,
I'm taking it
sort of funny, sort of
calling it
not,
out.
but at least there's some justice at the end with the frog that kills the ICE people. I don't know.
Well, you gave away the ending.
I don't know what it is.
This is the ICE commanding officer requesting backup for a shooting.
Backup is on the way. What time did the shooting start?
Whenever y'all get here.
Hello.
All right.
I mean, there's a little joy at the end is all I was trying to say.
A little joy. A little joy.
I don't know what it is.
All right, let's just go to the party of opposition. We talked last week about how House Leader Hakeem Jeffries refused to whip the votes against ICE funding. Instead, it seems pretty clear that they figured out a strategy to allow the funding to go through. The Democratic leadership worked it so that the DHS appropriations bill will get a separate vote from the other three bills in the package released on Tuesday. While a full 4-bill package may have needed support from House Democrats, the DHS appropriation alone, with its meager accountability measures and funding for immigration enforcement, can be expected to get full support from House Republicans. And as Ken Klippenstein writes, the bill passed the House with the support of these Democrats. Henry Cuellar, remember when he was running against, was it Jessica Ramirez? I can't remember. I don't want to say wrong.
I think so.
Ramirez down in Texas.
Yeah.
And it was right after something horrific. Was it another police shooting? I'm going to get everything wrong, but Nancy Pelosi made sure that she, went right down there to support the corporate Democrat, Henry Cuellar, Tom Suozzi, Vicente Gonzalez, Laura Gillis, Marie Perez, Jared Golden, and Don Davis. And also, fun fact, Pablo Manriquez says, with full attendance, Democrats can defeat the DHS funding bill. Democratic representatives missing the votes. Kazar, I can't remember. Conway, Garamendi, Larson, Swalwell, and Richie Torres. So it worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
They just needed 13 rotating villains. But
they had them just the right amount. Just the right amount. Eric Swalwell is such a fucking loser piece of shit.
Truly.
We had this cringy video we almost showed the other day, but like he's so irrelevant in the big picture. Who cares? But these guys, they're just gonna give them whatever they want. They're gonna find a way to give them whatever they want. They're not fighting at all. And our centrist lib friends that think we just need to flip it over to Democrats. Yeah, you're gonna have less obnoxious violence in your face.
Yeah.
But you're not fixing it. You're just making it less bad, a teeny less bad. That's not fixing it. And the number of people that believe it's going to get fixed because they vote for Democrats, that's the problem. It won't ever get fixed if you just vote for Democrats.
And here, okay, we have two pieces of evidence just from the last 3 days from one person. This is AOC talking about this vote. And the way she discusses it, again, it's just so pretzel logic, word salad, trying to just pluck out. It's the exact reason that the House leaders voted no, because they know what's popular. So they can say most of us did it. Most of us are on the great side. Just nothing will ever change.
What do you say to Democrats who voted for the DHS funding bill to fund ICE? And what do you say to Democrats in the Senate who are considering giving this final approval and sending it to President Trump's desk?
Well, I think first and foremost, the overwhelming majority of Democrats, over 200 Democrats, voted against this DHS and ICE funding bill today, and I think it is extremely important that everyone across the country recognize that. There are hundreds of members of Congress. Some are going to vote differently, but at the end of the day, Democrats stood in almost unanimity against this DHS bill, and that's how it should have been.
But you obviously believe ICE should be abolished, but there are many in your party who are not going that far. Is that a problem for you?
I think any step in the direction of reining in and cutting the funding of an agency that is attacking U.S. citizens, that are kidnapping 5-year-olds, that are using them as bait to open doors, and that are privately circulating that they can violate everyday Americans' constitutional rights by busting into their doors, they deserve to be defunded. I'll take any step in that direction.
Are you frustrated then that leadership effectively cut a deal to fund them and implement very limited reforms?
I mean, I look at the votes that are there today, and I think what is most important is that Leader Jeffrey stood against this bill, and Democrats voted against.
What an asshole. What's important is that over 200 Democrats voted against it. That's what people. That's what I really want people to know. How does that change anything?
Yeah, what's important is when you remember the Democratic brand, remember the optics. Most of us are not for the Nazis. Most of us are against the Nazis. I'm cool with the people that aren't for the Nazis. It's important that we work a little bit to maybe do a little something that makes their life uncomfortable if you're the Nazis. But this formula is mastered by the Democratic Party. They will pass every vile piece of legislation with however many votes they need, and then everybody else gets to say, we didn't vote for that.
That's right. That's how it always happens. I thought I said word salad. I thought I said if she comes up.
Oh no, the banner.
Okay.
But it would have blocked the captions on the screen, so I didn't put it up.
I mean, how does that help anybody? How does that help Alex Pretti? Oh, you guys didn't vote, but you all arranged it so that it would work out just like this. Excellent. And then this week, she also decided to endorse, wait a second, Julie Johnson, who it takes money from AIPAC. So here is, sorry, wait, I have to take the comments off for a second. Yeah, sorry. I'm honored to have AOC's endorsement in my re-election campaign for Texas 33. I plan to keep holding ICE accountable, expanding healthcare access, look at that, and lowering costs for families. She is anti-Medicare for all. She takes AIPAC money. And who you really should be voting for is Zishan Hafiz. But why is AOC voting for or endorsing this woman? And, that's the thing. Like, you can say, oh, I don't take AIPAC money. I don't take PAC money, dark money, whatever the hell. But I always just fall in line with the people who do. So then it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Then you're just virtue signaling, kind of, but like not really, because it's all on you anyway.
Yeah. And this just sets up another person when she votes to not fund Israel. Well, the person she just endorsed voted to fund Israel, and then she gets to come out here again and have one of these speeches where she said, remember, most of us didn't vote to fund Israel. But she's still, any day now, I can't wait till she uses her leverage as the squad. Because, she's $15 minimum wage. She was always going to save that leverage for a more important vote. More important than minimum wage being $15 which is pathetic.
And it was pathetic even then. But yeah, I mean,
couldn't use it for that. So she's still saving it. I want to see what she's going to use it for. When's that leverage coming out?
It's a 4D chess move. It's all happening. It is all happening. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So that is one part of it. And then she puts this out because she always has, it's like, first of all, I mean, she's done so many horrible things. Then she casts like suspicions on Jill Stein, and anybody who votes for her is like a useful idiot who's just being used by Jill Stein, which I think is like a disgusting way to treat a democracy and to treat a woman who actually has integrity and an ideology that anybody on the left should stand for. Then she puts out a tweet like this: cynics and defeatists share the same story as authoritarians do. So just, I'm sure everybody gets it, but the cynics and defeatists are us leftists. That's who she's casting as a cynic and defeatist. We're the same as authoritarians in her book. Nothing is worth trying. The conclusion is foregone. Hope is naive, and attempts to resist are too small or futile. Don't listen to them. Do not give up. Try. A better world is possible. We will win. We must. She is the one who isn't fighting.
Yeah, so much of her statement there is just pissing me off. First off, the left has hope, but they don't have hope in the Democratic Party because you've shown us we shouldn't have hope. Like, that's just the reality. Like, we should not, even if the Democratic Party was going to make things better, if you hope for them to do it, you're hurting the cause of getting it better because they can't do it without pressure from us. So shut up on that level. And then no action is too small for like what? The left and the people you were just criticizing are the ones raising the fucking ruckus, bitch.
Yeah.
Sorry to call a woman a bitch, but I just it angers me so much. It's like,
and she doesn't go on any leftist show. Like, not even like, not that Breaking Points is leftist. Like, she doesn't even go on Breaking Points, let alone, Bad Faith podcast. Like, I'm assuming she sort of knows Brianna Joy Gray. Like, she's not gone on any of those, right?
She can control the narrative from her bed and her little selfie position like she's a TikToker. Talking about, oh my God, Jill Stein. Jesus Christ, you guys and Jill Stein ruined everything. Think of what would have happened if the squad left said, you know what, we're all fucking Green Party now. We're Green Party independents.
Yes.
Like, that's how you bring a ruckus. You don't say vote for Mama Pelosi. Mama Bear.
Mama Bear on
Saving
the cover
the boat.
of Vanity Fair or whatever the hell.
Don't want to ruffle the party people's feathers.
Yeah. Total Instagram influencer with her thirst trap post about making mac and cheese and all of her stuff. Citizen Mendejo, thank you for the super chat. Based as fuck, Pat, Lila, thanks for bringing up ice groups and connecting them to Zaya Hell. Yeah, I mean, it is really, and thank you and cheers, disgusting to see the similarities between the way, and it's obviously intentional, like the way that ICE is treated, and by the way, cops in our country, like also, but the way ICE is treating like that we're all terrorists. I mean, that is the same thing, just the mere fact of people's existence who are watching them, who are videotaping them, who are trying to help their neighbors, that gets in the way of their lie of an investigation on somebody that the Minnesota Department of Corrections just called them out on anyway. So like, they weren't even there to do a real takedown of a real criminal. And they still ended up killing a peaceful protester.
Yeah.
All right. Moving to wait 1 second. Do we have any more? Okay, so here, yeah, go ahead.
No, we had some ice stuff left, I think, right?
Yeah, I think we do. And just because to finish our little Dem thing, this is what gets people. Like, I saw this. Governor Gavin Newsom countering Trump's decision to pull the U.S. out of the World Health Organization. California is the first American state to join the WHO's Global Outbreak Alert and Response Network, with WHO will keep working to help protect Californians from public health threats. And I can see how that, like, okay, if it comes down to JD Vance or Gavin Newsom, like, this is why the Pied Piper, lesser of two evils, it works on people.
But on another level, I can't ignore that California and the whole U.S. is not following the WHO recommendations about masking.
That's a good point.
I mean, they're not.
Yeah.
If you care about them, you don't care about them. You're telling people to go and get COVID. Fucking on average now, people have had it 6 times, right? So,
But like, we don't even have a left candidate. There is not a single left candidate, Green Party even, who talks about wearing a mask anymore at all.
no,
So, like,
the issue is it's done for politicians, particularly. It's too much of a hot. It's the third rail. If you talked about it, you'd be a wacko overnight. And that's what happens when you also, as Governor Gavin Newsom, don't listen to the WHO.
Yep.
You normalized making them out to be quacks because you're not following their recommendations, and they're slow with their recommendations. They're fucking way behind the science on COVID.
I mean, also, like, I don't think I will ever get over the fact that,
French laundry.
well, yeah, French laundry for him, but that the WHO General Tedros says it's airborne in February of 2020, gets a quick whisper in his ear or a note passed to him, and then says it's not airborne.
Yeah,
that was the WHO, right? Because guess why? Because of Bill Gates.
Yeah, it's the corporate capture of every part of government is what's happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
They decide, like, hey, you need people to work. So all of our policies are going to be about not making it more expensive for businesses on any level, period.
Yeah. And I know we keep talking about this, but like, when Larry Summers says no amount of money is too much to throw at COVID because of long COVID, it's going, our workforce will be depleted. Our medical systems will be overwhelmed. Larry fucking Summers, one of the most disgusting capitalists in the world. But like that, he's like, it's true. And just clean the air. And wear N95s in hospitals.
Exactly. If we're going to do nothing, if that's just the way it is, like, our lifespans just all got shorter and we're just going to accept it. Can you at least just normalize hospitals wearing masks and in ensuring that places like schools where kids are going to get this fucking 2.5 times a year, they're going to get COVID. If you can ensure those places have clean air so they only get it once a year, can we do that? Because this is technology, we have science behind us. We know this is not like radical shit. This is actual science on fucking how air transmission and disease transmission works.
Like Florence Nightingale from 150 years ago.
It's,
Jesus Christ.
Can we just get those two things? I mean, like, and flying on a plane, can we make sure everyone wears a fucking mask on a plane? Or if you can't do that, can you change the plane air system to something, that works a little better? I mean,
we're just going to sit back and just declare it over. Thank you, Biden. It's just over. All right. Let's do the last little bits of. So this is pretty hopeful. Civilian police force are out there to protect the community.
Honestly, just making sure that no one abducts and kidnaps our community members.
I mean, we're standing now in this area, Cedar Riverside. It's really diverse Somali American area of Minneapolis. It is genuinely surreal and weird and bizarre to see basically like the quasi-militarization of the local population. I mean, they are talking about being on patrol. They are talking about being out protecting people. People are becoming part of a sort of civilian police force, right? Standing on every single street corner, young people, old people, teenagers, moms, nans and granddads, just standing outside and just keeping an eye because they're that afraid that the federal government will come along and snatch somebody.
My name is Kosar. I'm a part of the Cedar Riverside Protection Alliance. We're really in the space of really ensuring that there's emergency response, prevention and mitigation as we really feel the full weight of harm that is being inflicted upon this community.
Honestly, just making sure that no one abducts and kidnaps our community members.
It is also true to say, and the thing that really strikes you being here is how weary and exhausted people are by it. And who can blame them? It is a weird thing to live with, a bizarre thing to live with. And yet, thirdly, what flows from that as well is there is undoubtedly a complete galvanization of people.
I think it is mad that they're putting us in this position to be out here, but it is also, we are making sure that they're aware that we're not intimidated at all, and we're here to protect our people. And when I say our people, it's everyone. The Native American community, the Mexican, Hispanic community, Somali community, we are all vital to this state.
We still believe in we the people, right? We the people means everybody is vital to this nation and this nation building.
And a really weird hopefulness to it all. I mean, that's the weird thing. There is this exhaustion and there is this weariness, and yet, and maybe this is just really American, there is a genuine sense of togetherness and optimism that it can be defeated. And that is the weird kind of triple truths or duality to all of this thing, which is that, I suppose, as in politics, as it always is the case, there is an equal and opposite reaction to things. And it doesn't feel, as dark as it feels, it doesn't feel pessimistic. And that's the weirdness.
I mean, I saw that video on Friday, and then of course the next day you feel like, I mean, not that a community can be expected to save everybody, but
I think there is hope in all the violence, even when it's directed against us.
Right.
I think the more, like, it's almost like saying we shouldn't have had the civil rights conflict and clash. Like, that clash was necessary, and a lot of people died in that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we want people to die, but violence precedes change. And especially when your government is so captured and beholden by despots and people that are just all about their own personal economies. So I had hope, and I'm seeing us escalate to a place where they're going to have to listen a little more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think we're going in the wrong direction when we're taking power.
100.
And the violence at us for our power is not proof that we're losing this fight. It's proof that we're starting to make some change.
And they're scared. They know that we have to be reckoned with, and that we're not going to go down without a fight, which is why, it's that thing that Chris Hedges says, like, you don't fight fascism because you think you're going to win, but you fight it because it's fascism, and you have to fight it. Like, otherwise you just lie down and die. Then there's no hope at all.
Amen.
I've seen a few people asking about Zach Polanski, and I have to say it did make me excited to see his. He's been so great. We've showed other clips of him. He's running from the Green Party in the UK, and who knows what happens when people get in there. But the way he speaks so frankly about the harms that we're all enduring, and also because it is vital that this is an international program of solidarity, that it's not just contained here. I mean, that's why we talk about this again all the time, but like, that's why Labor Day, we have it in September when every other country has it on May 1st. I mean, there's so many ways that we are not taught about the working class and socialism and solidarity in this country, and it is intentional. So we do like highlighting other people who seem to be good in other countries. So here's Zach Polanski.
Why does it feel like everyone's running all the time? You are, we all are, like we can never catch a breath. Rent's up, water bill's up. You dread opening that next energy bill. And when did everything become such a luxury? Going to a cafe, reading glasses are too expensive, so you squint. Even going to the dentist gets put off, so you cut back and you pick up the pace. No holiday this year. Sorry, kids. Living with tooth pain. You take a second job, sometimes 3, just to stay where you are. Wages stuck in 2008. Prices racing ahead. You never get to see the kids, snapping at them when you do. And it's the same story all around the country. Cities, towns, villages. People working full time, still broke. builders building houses they'll never live in, nurses queuing up at food banks. And we're the lucky ones, the ones with jobs. Some people can't run at all. Students buried in debt, disabled kids denied support, pensioners choosing which room to heat, if any. The pressure never lifts, so the rest of us run faster to help the people we love. The NHS is buckling, our rivers are full of filth, hopelessness sets in, and you're moving so fast, everything is just a blur. And that's when it hits you. What if the answer isn't to run faster? What if the most powerful thing we can do, all of us, all together at once, is to stop running and look around? Because the moment you stop running and really look, one thing becomes really clear. When the rest of us are killing ourselves to create wealth, and hardly any of it is coming back to our communities. It's going somewhere else, upwards to the pockets of the super rich. This isn't just an economic failure, it's a failure of leadership. The people we elected choose to serve the wealthy and not us. And yes, that is obscene. Good leaders put people before profit. They know homes are for living in, not landlords' portfolios. Energy is for warming those homes, not record dividends. And rivers are for nature and swimming in, not being poisoned to protect profits. And when we live well and we protect our environment, we don't burn out. It's how we grow. It's how our whole country grows. And yes, together, it's how we make hope normal again.
Yeah. Dude. Anyone wanting to win as a Democrat or any election, if that's not your platform, you're fucking dropping the ball. And any consultant that comes in and says, well, take out the bit about this or that. No, you run on that and your opponent is going to show their ass on that through their history somehow. And you've got them. You've got them.
Yeah. I mean, it does. Like it's, I'm sorry, because I'm trying to see everybody's different comments, but it's hard because they're coming in at different times. But it is so contagious when you feel like somebody is actually speaking truthfully, not doing word salads, not talking about how, oh no, I have nothing against billionaires, but we do need a billionaire tax. But I don't like.
Just not
okay.
1%. That's way too much. 1% is too much.
Like
from billionaires.
We're even, and I'm sorry, but like there's Ro Khanna, and he's getting it from his former tech bro industry friends in Silicon Valley, because he is saying he does want the billionaire tax. And he says that Gavin Newsom is out of touch. And when I think it was on Breaking Points, I can't remember where I heard this interview, but and somebody said, well, there are people who think that billionaires shouldn't exist. And he was like, no. I'm fine with billionaires existing. I'm just asking for a little tax. That to me is so instructive, because billionaires could not exist if we had proper policies in place. There is no way to earn $1 billion. You steal it from people's labor and from ravaging the climate. That's it. There's no other way. You don't earn it. So you are stealing from your employees while also destroying our world. So if you think billionaires should exist, we have very different views on how our policies should be constructed.
Absolutely. And seeing, when you look at all these tech bros, they're so illustrative, just their histories. They were all just fucking dumb people who had ideas and got greedy and manipulated people. Every one of these guys had a shady start to their careers where they ripped people fucking off.
Yeah.
And now they're the ones buying our government.
Like, I just don't even understand. Who are you appealing to if you, I guess that is, he's just still appealing to his billionaire friends. Like, just let us tax you this one time and then you're fine. You're good to go.
Well, that's it. It's like, if you're not running on that message, you're running on a message of, hey, donors, give me money because I'm not doing that shit. And then you go to the public with some sort of mealy-mouthed half message, which is the Democratic way. That way you don't have to actually fall through it. And your donors are like, yeah, we trust him. Here's a bunch of money. And you try to outspend your opponent, which is why leftists never win, which is why leftist ballot initiatives don't win, because as soon as you have a good ballot initiative that people can vote on directly, there's $1 million raised from us leftists, and there's $100 million from Exxon against it.
Which again is why, like, you cannot have billionaires, not only for the exploitation of labor, of the working class, of our environment, but also it destroys democracy, exactly for what you're saying. And because then they have way outbalanced ability to pressure the politicians. Even if we get money out of politics, even then they still would, because of like the careerism and, you know, all of it. So
yeah,
it just feels like a not well thought through ideology to say just a one-time tax, but it's fine if billionaires exist. Like, the difference between being a billionaire and a millionaire is gargantuan. Yeah, I would like no more lobbying. And
if you're Ro Khanna and you're going to couch your message, at least couch it on no new billionaires or something, you know, like do a little better to where like, hey, it's not about coming for people's wealth they've earned, but we're going to create a society that's fair in the future, you know, like some bullshit like that. Like,
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think I would get him on him with that also, but I hear you.
I would too, but like,
saying. Yeah,
it's just not smart.
No,
I mean,
it's
even
not
politically. It's not smart.
And it's just not a consistent ideology, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you want to go from here? We have a few more ICE videos, but we can also.
I think we need a break. We need a piece of joy somehow.
Get some joy in here. I need another glass of wine. What the hell is happening? All right, 1 second. My bartender.
Yeah, baby.
All right, look at that. I am gonna just. You can't leave important things to chance. You just gotta decide what you want, right? All right.
Well, because we uploaded so much stuff, I only have this really short one. So we'll show something else afterwards. But this is really short. Inject.
History is made in repeats. There's people dying on the streets. So history is made in repeats. I want to wither in the heat. So history is made in repeats. I hear the angry people sing. So all I know of history is about to repeat it. So I'm gonna lose the double sound. So I'm gonna do it.
All right, I like it.
I don't know. I don't.
The anger
ATP
and the energy there.
ATP could mean anything. I don't know what it means.
Do you need another minute, or are you uploading, or you just want to show a different thing?
Let's just show something else.
Like
what
a
do
puppet.
We got.
You know the people love the puppet.
All right, you want some puppets? Here's some dogs.
Правда.
Oh my god.
Miles, what are you doing?
Go watch.
The entire academy, which you do, by the way, witches and warlocks alike, you're an equal opportunity for.
That's so cute. I love that. Aw.
Happy dogs.
Happy dogs. That's really cute.
I know I've shared this before, but it reminds me, my cat, when I growing up, had a spot you could touch on its back, and it would immediately go attack the dog every time you touched it.
Really?
It was just like, it set off a reaction, and she was like mad, and she go attack the dog.
That's so funny. But it was a gentle thing. It wasn't like you were antagonizing her.
No, it was just, rubbing the butt, that would piss off the cat, and then it would go attack the dog.
It was like when somebody taps you on the shoulder and then you look the wrong way.
Yeah, I got to go punch somebody here.
Okay, so I don't know, Pat. It's so hard to go from that to more of ICE stuff right now because it's just so awful. But let's
You looking for the transition? I don't have a transition.
I don't know. I mean, there's stuff that we
fuck
should
ICE. Let's show some
about.
evil fucks. More
All
evil
right.
fucks.
I mean,
here.
I do think it's
People
so
need to know.
important to know, like, because this is going to have such a lasting effect on all of our children. Like, in it also, obviously, like COVID will have an effect. Constant war. These Nazis terrorizing their communities, even if it's not your own family, but like just to see it around you, it's terrifying. Like I was so lucky in my life. I had two parents who loved me, a brother, roof over our head, meals on the table. Like I did not worry about I thought just bare necessities, and to feel so terrorized every day, it is traumatizing, and that it will have repercussions for all of us.
Suelta a la niña, 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 suelta a la niña.
I'm scared for my parents to walk out their house because I might not be able to say goodbye to them if they go to work.
They tackle my mom, start kicking her, punching her. She has her ribs are all bruised, shoulders bruised, everything. Tell her, point a gun to her head, say that they're gonna blow her head off. The face.
It got me scared. My arms was shaking, my arms, my legs, and then I started crying.
I was going to school. I was going to school.
Inside Valley View Elementary in Columbia Heights, there's a preschool classroom filled with 4- and 5-year-olds who may soon wonder what happened to one of their classmates, Liam Ramos.
He's a bright young student, and he's so kind.
Liam is likely being held with his father at a detention facility in Texas. School officials say Liam is one of 4 students who have been detained by ICE agents over the last 2 weeks, including another student who is also detained on Tuesday.
Likely have hundreds of children under the age of 5. It's a baby jail. It's a baby jail.
ICE agents have been roaming our neighborhoods, circling our schools, following our buses, coming into our parking lots and taking our children, and our hearts are shattered.
Breathe in, breathe out, find the peace somehow.
Like any one of those moments is so, I mean, it's just beyond devastating. And then, just to like broaden that out and to know how so many people in our country have been treated like that for such a long time. That's been part of their daily existence. To know, what's happening in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Sudan, in Darfur, in Congo. I mean, it's just like, but what that does to you.
I just can't imagine. I mean, I think the good news on this is that they have lost the narrative so badly on this. Like, nobody supports this. Like, the people that do don't matter. They're the scummiest people on fucking earth that support this at this point. It's so openly vile. The difference between that kid right there being a good citizen and a bad one is that his dad doesn't work for one of the Trump organizations or something that will get a list of passes for people because his dad works in the kitchen at Trump Towers or something, you know, like it's the people running our country are evil sociopaths.
They really are. And all of them, because the Democrats who figured out a way to make sure that they kept funding ICE.
Yeah, you don't do that. You're not even winning the optics game on it. You're just fucking complicit.
And then chastise people who are cynical or who don't believe in you anymore, because she's not actually, because you're right. I mean, there is hope. There's revolutionary hope, as Adria said, as we see with Polanski. Like there are, it's not that
the hope,
we don't have hope. I just don't have hope in you or this
that's the
whole
hope.
Stupid party.
The hope is that people have woken up to both parties being fucking scumbags. And now that we know that, we're going to fucking get together and do something about it. That's the hope.
Yeah.
Because you guys are fucking selling us all out.
That's right.
You couldn't fight for $15 minimum wage. You couldn't end a genocide. You can't not fund the fucking Gestapo on the streets.
Yeah. I mean, like, I honestly can't believe that she did the left and the right are the same tweet. Because that's what that was.
Yeah. Fucking.
Honestly. Okay. Yeah, I'm loving everybody's posts and agree with all of them. We're not voting our way out of any of this. And these people are, oh yeah, this is killing me also. Like the top cop with the fascist border bill who said she was going to make the U.S. Army military, the most lethal military in the world, who lied that she was fighting tirelessly for a ceasefire.
Yeah, no one normalized all this fear mongering and blaming immigrants than Kamala's campaign.
Yeah, that's right.
You made this okay.
Yeah.
You made this, well, yeah, but the Democratic Party's campaign, basically. You said, they're right on this stuff. We should blame them.
Yep.
That's what your campaign message was. And now here we are.
Yeah.
And so every Republican gets to go on TV and say, well, there was a mandate for this. This is what the election was about. It was for all this stuff.
Yep.
Such a mandate.
Yeah. Biden came in, killed COVID protections, killed the Me Too movement, killed the Dreamers Act and people who were hoping for, a more fair, just immigration policy, killed defund the police and Black Lives Matter. Okay, so speaking of, this is crazy. So right now, a third of our country is having horrific ice storms, buried under snow. We showed on Wednesday that Sicily was flooding, and the eastern town of Kakachka, I think, was like, that was actually, I'd never sort of seen anything like that. Whole buildings were buried in snow. But now here we are having ice storms, snowstorms and ice storms, power outages all over. People are being told to stay in place in some of the more southern part of this storm front because the ice is so severe that trees, like everything's covered and trees can just fall over and kill you. Also, power lines going down. But listen to this meteorologist talk about DHS giving him a call and telling him not to use the word ice.
You also have some interesting reporting on guidance that FEMA was given about messaging for the storm.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. So I've learned that Homeland Security officials have come to FEMA staff and told them to limit the use of the word ICE in their public messaging and social media posts when talking about the storm. The concern is obviously the connection between the immigration enforcement that's happening across the country, particularly in Minnesota. And what they are worried about here is that by posting something like, watch out for the ICE, that it's going to become an opportunity for a meme, for internet fodder, for public ridicule against the Department of Homeland Security. So they're asking FEMA staff, if you can, don't use the word ICE, try to use the term freezing rain. But part of the problem here, as I talk to agency officials about this, is they're saying, what we're talking about is ice, and what we're talking about is saving lives.
Yeah, no, when you say freezing rain, that makes me think, oh, I'll put on a raincoat. It doesn't make me think ice.
Right, and what we're largely talking about, and I'm not a forecaster, but this is largely an ice event. And a lot of states that I've talked to are saying what we're preparing for is destructive ice that could damage power grids, cut power to a lot of homes and wreak havoc on roads. And it is pretty remarkable that Homeland Security is saying, please try to avoid using that word.
Because they're afraid of memes. Meanwhile, lives are on the line. Another incredibly idiotic story. Thanks so much.
I mean, you could stop terrorizing communities and shooting people in the face or the back. Yeah. I mean
the messaging, everything that's happened has led us to this, to where we're not going to call ICE ICE, We're going to call starving kids food insecure kids, we're going to soften everything so nobody's too up in arms about it, because that way, hey, the Democrats in power, they're not so bad. Same with the Republicans. Let's just soften it all. The economy's not bad. You're just you're facing a challenge or something.
Bidenomics,
a Christmas challenge.
Yeah, just don't get presents for people 18 and above. What's the problem?
Yeah. And we'll get articles on how you can make soup from rainwater for 70 cents instead of, fucking getting your kids Christmas presents.
I need to put together a list of all of the different food emails I get, because I subscribe to all these different things because I cook a lot with Xander. And right now it is things like farm cake, water soup. It's like the names are trying to make it okay that we're about to really be in Depression era economy.
Oh, look, it's coming. I mean, I'm a home electrician. I go to houses, residential, houses all the time. Even a lot of the wealthy houses I go to, where you're like, oh, this is a really nice house. You get inside and they're running on a space heater and heating 2 rooms in their house. There's a lot more of that than I saw when I started this job, of people really conserving because they're broke.
Wow.
Or running out of money, or, the poor houses I go to are really fucking yikes. But when you see the rich people doing it, when they're blanketed up in an office with a space heater and the TV's in the office with them and they just stay there, that's not a good sign for everyone when that person is that.
Truly, that's pretty crazy. Well, because what happens is you get, you think once you have a few good years that's your new normal, and then your overhead becomes huge. But okay, that's where you are, and we all think it's only going to get better, and then it gets worse. And then what do? You hope for one good year coming up, maybe.
Well, even people that are relatively well off, who are not affected by most policies, they think they're safe. One healthcare thing can ruin it all. And that's where I always say the healthcare is the way you hit the liberals and the centrists.
Yeah.
Because they all have examples of their friends losing their house or going broke, or how much it's hurting them because they had I thought I was covered. Why do I have a third mortgage on my home? And I reversed my will or whatever, it's so they're making it to where even the middle tier wealthy people aren't passing on the wealth anymore. right? It's just the people at the top with the wealth that will pass the wealth on. But in the middle tier, like sort of doing okay, kid,
they have to eat up all their retirement just to survive.
The generational wealth is not getting passed on in the middle class
inheritance
like it was. There's nothing left. They're bleeding everything is the point.
I mean, here's Trump talking about how he protects people who already have homes, which is very few people and mostly BlackRock.
I have to say one thing about housing, because nobody ever says this. I am very protective of people that already own a house, of which we have millions and millions and millions. And because we have had such a good run, the house values have gone up tremendously. And these people have become wealthy. They weren't wealthy. They become wealthy because of their house. And every time you make it more and more and more affordable for somebody to buy a house cheaply, you're actually hurting the value of those houses, obviously, because the one thing works in tandem with the other. And I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt the value of people that own a house who, for the first time in their lives, are walking around the streets of whatever city they're in, very proud that their house is worth $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. Now, if I want to really crush the housing market, I could do that so fast and people could buy houses, but you would destroy a lot of people that already have houses. In some cases, they've mortgaged their house, and the mortgage would be very low. And all of a sudden, the mortgage without any changes becomes very high, and they end up losing the house.
So, I mean, if you really believe, look, he's right that, this equation is not wrong economically, right? But the solution is you offer a fixed rate mortgage from the government that allows you to all buy this thing, and that rate doesn't change. So he just gave away the problem and the thing he could fix right in front of everyone's fucking ears. All you got to do is offer a no interest loan, period. Instead, we have a government that says, hey, you want to improve your life, go to college, and we're going to charge you fucking the rates that credit card companies can't fucking jerk off to enough. If you go to college to increase your life, he's just an absolute dirtbag. The solution is right in front of you.
It is. And there's also, and I mean, he's never going to think this way, but we had Besant the other day saying he doesn't want to hurt the mom and pops who buy 10 to 15 houses for their retirement.
Yeah,
which
the mom and pops.
I mean, out of touch isn't even sufficient to describe how ridiculous that statement is. But what about just having a house is a human right? Like having a roof over your head, not having to be, here's Len saying Bezos says we won't own our own computers in the future. We'll rent processing time from AI data centers. Yeah, AI data centers. Just like if you own a Tesla, it's like you have to rent the ability to use it. So you never flat out own it. It's all subscription service. That's what we all are. And nobody feels safe or free when that's where we are.
Yeah, it's all fucked. And our priorities are fucked. Like bringing back to electricity. So California's got rebates now for people to put batteries in their homes to store up electricity, right? Where the SMUD will actually give you money towards the battery in your house. Well, why is that? It's because we're going to direct all of our electricity towards these data centers and they need it. So the people that have money that can afford the battery systems because they have their home and they also can afford the battery systems, they will have power without outages, and our apartment complex here will be without power for a week. That's where we're headed. It's money. They know their priorities are so bought that these data centers are going to get all the power, and they're trying to find something to at least save the people who have money and houses. But that's it.
I mean, that's the problem right now is that there is no real middle class. It's quickly fading. And so everything's being geared towards the super rich. Like, they would rather charge $5,000 for a first class ticket where you get all the bells and whistles and put everybody packed like sardines in the shitty, you know, for 300, 400. I mean, still like pay $700 to go to Cincinnati. Like, that used to be in one way.
Yeah.
That used to be like to Europe, right? But so what they're realizing is most people in this country don't have disposable income. They're not buying any little extras. They're not even going out to eat at fast food places anymore. So that's a wash.
But they have their phone, you know, that's like a luxury. They got their phone.
Yeah.
Your
But
$700
so like
iPhone.
So what they're doing is, instead of making it like everybody can just have a sort of decent life, everybody else is going to have to suffer. So just these top few people get everything. And that's the deal they've made, and they feel really good about it. I know we've shown this a million times before, but billionaires have $18.3 trillion of wealth, while half the world lives in poverty. And then
so when you can well, but when you consider they made all that money by being sociopaths largely, do you think they're going to spend that money on anything to make our lives better? No, they're going to spend all that money on protecting it and making sure no policies passed to make things better. And we are so stepped on our necks by the boot that, we can vote our way out of it. But we can vote, we can't vote our way out of it. But when you get both parties who their campaigns depend on the money above, which is that little section up top, who's making all this, you know, every city, these guys running for local office are going to go to the rich people for the $50,000 donation or the $10,000. They're not going for these $2 and $4 donations and little shit. So all they care about is how much money can they raise by these rich people to push this idea, to push their campaign. And once they do that, they have to agree to not do these things. They're going to hurt the real estate developer. That's going to make your rent more expensive. Kaiser or whatever, the healthcare, you know, Mercy Hospital. They're all going to want some money to make sure you don't make the rates lower for us, you know. So it's a scam. The thing is cooked.
I mean, it is, because look what happened. Look at the difference between money in politics before Citizens United and after. In the last election cycle, $2.6 billion were spent on two absolute loser candidates who I despise, and all of their minions. 2.6 billion. And here's another, U.S. workers are taking home the smallest share of the economic pie since the Fed started collecting that data in 1947. Just waiting for that $15 minimum wage, folks. Labor share.
It's not the time to push that agenda. We're saving our leverage. Saving our leverage.
And it's not for genocide, not for ICE.
No, God, no. It's nuanced. That's nuanced.
It's nuanced. It's coming. It's coming. Keep hope alive, though. Don't be a cynic, because then you're just like a fascist. Labor share, or the portion of the U.S.'s economic output that workers receive through salary and wages, decreased to 53%, 53.8% in the third quarter of 2025, its lowest level since the BLS started recording this data in 1947. That is insane. And here's another stat. There are currently no states in the US where a full-time worker earning minimum wage can afford a modest 2-bedroom apartment per the National Low Income Housing Coalition. Not an apartment. Forget a house. You can't even rent a 2-bedroom apartment if you work full-time. So what's the minimum wage?
Yeah,
like, what is that definition then?
But the whole equation has gotten even more fucked to where they're making it to where new homeowners are fucked too, right? Mm-hmm. So even that is not the path out. Like, so they're just preserving, like, you got money, you're going to have it. But if you're new to this thing, owning a home is going to cost you as much as renting now, because they want you renting. So it's going to be punitive if you're getting a new home.
I know I've said it before and then I never do it, where I need to look up who said the quotation about one thing I'll have that the billionaires or the, oligarchs don't have enough. Like it's pathological that you have even $1 billion. You could part with 100 million and never be able to spend all of that. Yep, you're muted. You're muted. I hope you didn't just say something brilliant and that you can't remember it.
Oh, good. I thought I muted, but I looked down and the mic wasn't flashing. But quote, but I have something he will never have, enough. Narendra Goidani.
Did you just look that up? Yep. And you're muted again.
We have technology.
Oh, okay. For the time being. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Winners and losers. And hi, welcome. We haven't seen you in a while. A society where its people can't afford to live indoors is long overdue for a revolution. Absolutely. They are. I mean, their plan are these huge migration centers. That's where we're all going. That is the plan. They need more free labor until they can get their AI up and running. And by the way, AI is a big bubble, and we're going to all have to bail them out with our money. But already 25 data center cancellations and postponements this month, expecting to see a 100+ month towards midterms, excluding local county moratoriums. And even this evil fucker says we might have to slow down the rollout of AI to save society. Civil unrest is on its way. And he's right. I mean, and Peter Thiel said this 15 years ago. Of course, millennials and Gen Z hate capitalism, aren't invested in maintaining policies that have cut them out of even being part of society for the most part. Come on, we can't do this every. Okay, there you go. Muted?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just pondering. I was just honestly, I'm heavy on the mute button though, so sorry. Which I've picked up lately. I don't know why. Just because every time you talk, I just hit.
I know you're.
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, you just have to fucking rail at things.
No, but when you hear Jamie Dimon saying we might have to slow down this stuff because it's going to be, to save society. It's like we might care about society a little bit, but it's like he's saying the acceleration of AI is the acceleration of us having a society where none of us have jobs and healthcare and we're all fucked. He's saying it's going to lead to such homelessness that we're not going to have consumers, is what he's saying. That's what it means. There won't be consumers if we keep this up.
And there will be a country of Luigis. I mean, that's the other part of it. Civil unrest is we're coming for you. Because at this point, they don't really seem to need or want consumers, right? Which is why it's built in. They make up so much more if they sell one huge ticket item to some fancy person than 20 Big Macs, right?
Yeah, but I think he realizes it is actually bigger than so many of these industries rely on at least selling to poor people. Poor people. He's saying his admission is this is going to wreck the economy so bad that we are not going to be able, Doritos won't sell chips to people because they're going to be buying the soup only.
Yeah.
So all the industry and the stock market's going to fall apart because it'll only be products tailored towards the rich because they're the only ones that have fucking money.
Yep.
So when you get him saying that, you better fucking listen. If you don't want to listen to him, you should listen to AI. If you trust AI, talk to AI for a bit about how fucking bad AI is for the world. It'll tell you. They haven't programmed it out entirely yet.
Yeah, I mean, so it's bad if it's successful, but it's not even doing its job. It's been way oversold as the solution. And they're finding that most companies that started to try to employ it aren't happy with the results. They need major help from their actual human employees to correct the mistakes of AI.
Yeah.
And yeah, Dollar
It
Tree,
hallucinates
general stores are
1
all
out of
for-
4 times.
Yeah.
1 out of 4 times you ask it something, it hallucinates. And they know this. AI will tell you it hallucinates 1 out of 4 times.
Yep.
It just goes off on some shit. And you're like, hey, AI, tell me something about, Arm & Hammer and the products for the fridge. And it'll just say, well, the thing about cars is
Yeah.
1 out of 4 times. I mean, on deeper level shit, though, that's just surface stuff. But like, it really does that. It's that bad right now. But when it finally works and is everything they say, that's when it's the worst for us, and it takes our jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't want it.
It's a lose-lose. Heads they win, tails we lose. Just to bring some what the fuck into our lives a little bit. This tour was going on last week. This is so crazy. Make Heaven Crowded tour featuring confirmed speaker Erica Kirk. I mean, crazy. Also, that feels like I feel like if we put that out, it's like, when you're
I'm
like,
almost for it.
Yeah, like Israelis who talk about genocide like out in the open, or say like we're the masters of the world, Jews are the master race, or like they say shit like that, where if it's like who said it, Trump or Chomsky kind of deal, but like actually no, because you know why I don't believe in heaven or hell, but also if I did, these people aren't going to heaven. So maybe that's the rub. That's where I can't get on board.
Yeah, I mean, I want them all there. I don't want them necessarily
up all
there.
At least to be
not up
being
there,
juded.
just there.
They should all be. They should all get to the point of life where they're judged.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's another one. This actually did make me laugh, and it might have just been because it was like 3 a.m. and a bout of insomnia. But Usha Vance just announced she is pregnant with her 4th child with Vice President JD. And so when asked how she and JD found time to make a 4th baby, Usha said, "You just have to find the right time and ensure the mood is right." And then the comment below says, "Is that why she's dressed like the sofa?" I thought that was funny.
Is that an actual non-AI picture? It feels like AI, but
it might totally
who has
be
that
AI.
Exact outfit with the
I know, and well, I'm sure you're right, because if you look, like, while we're looking at it, the left side of the picture doesn't match the right side. So yeah, I am sure you're right, but it still made me laugh at 3 a.m. I'm going to keep changing the time, so I give myself more of justification for not realizing it was AI and just laughing.
Yeah.
Here is another thing that's happening. I don't know what the hell they're even doing with this. Trump embraced the penguin. He's got a penguin holding an American flag as they're walking in the snow. And I'm assuming this is his push for Greenland, where there are no penguins, because penguins are in the Antarctic.
Right before the show launched, we're like, wait, are there penguins in Greenland? We need to Google, help us. No, there's no fucking penguins. And like, this guy is such a fucking idiot. What are we doing here?
He is so
the dumbest fuck on earth.
I know. I mean, it truly is ridiculous, but they keep going with it. It doesn't stop. We've also got, here's the Department of War, where apparently nobody has footprints except for the guy who's one in from the left. No idea why. Be a warrior.
But you know what?
Embrace the penguin.
This really is the, and Trump was called up on this strategy back in 2016. It is the overwhelm the news with the news stories shit. Like, I think they put this out to be annoying and a distraction, like, because you can clown them for this easy. Right. So it's like any time you spend on that is less on the ice, less on the Epstein files, which nobody's fucking talking Epstein anymore.
Yeah, true. Wait, there was something else that happened, and it was like some hideous thing. Why can't I remember what it was? Shoot. Wait, I'm just looking really quickly to see. Nope, I don't see it here. What happened? where somebody commented, like, could you stop these memes that are really upsetting? And they said, nope, the memes are going to continue. And that was like official from the administration. What was it? Is it something that we talked about?
I don't know.
Shoot. I can't remember right now. Damn it.
Sounds like Elon.
Yeah, but it was, yeah, the report was that it was from the White House. All right, I'm going to have to find it and figure it out. And then, of course,
the rapture stuff. Yes.
RFK Jr.
It's also bad. What, like a dark, like that felt like you're walking into death. Like you're like, what about that made you feel like the future with him is somehow good? Like it's just optics. The whole thing is just, these people are idiots.
I don't even know what that means. Like, what is that?
That's right. It has nothing to it. It's just, haha, we got him with the penguin. And nobody mentioned, like, it's you going into cold death ice. Like, what do you, I guess
it's like a Greenland thing. I have no idea, but like, who the fuck cares? And then with Maha, and then we didn't even show the milk commercial. Do we have it? I don't even know. That was all AI.
We had it last show.
Yeah, we had it, and I don't think we showed it, but it was all AI.
Whole milk.
Like, whole milk.
In case you're missing it, you don't drink unpasteurized milk because it's got shit in it. Is this like, hard to understand, people?
Truly,
it has shit in it.
Yeah.
Don't drink.
But that's what they were pushing.
Milk.
Like that is something they were pushing, initially. All right, I can't find it. I'll have to find it after. Yeah. Okay, wait. There was another thing. Oh, speaking of shit, in the Potomac, no biggie. Don't drink the water.
If you look at the river, it's pretty clear and blue, but this stretch right here is brown and gray, and you can see little shreds of toilet paper. It reeks of sewage. So I've been a river keeper now for 25 years, and I've dealt with what I thought were pretty big sewage spills of 15, 20 million gallons, but this is dumping about 60 million gallons a day for the last 5 days into the Potomac River. And if you do the math, we're well over 200 million gallons of raw sewage that's dumped into the river. This may be one of the largest sewage spills that we've ever seen in the United States, and nobody's really reporting about it. I've never seen it this low, even in the summer. So you can just see the concentration of sewage is really high.
You can see the bits of excrement, and whether that's feces or like it's toilet paper, it's kind of what's floating around.
I've seen people walking their dogs down here. We've got reports of fish kills downriver. This is a really important public health issue, and they need to close this river down and prevent any type of public access for people actually using this river.
Okay, that is so disgusting on so many different levels. I am sure that there was some, upgrade that was supposed to happen, some infrastructure that was supposed to happen with the sewage plant, and they banked on paying the fine instead of updating their equipment. It happens, by the way, in Los Angeles on our beaches at least once a year. We have raw sewage goes right into the ocean, Santa Monica and Venice Beach. And then 3 days later, they're like, everything's okay now.
Yeah, this is why any argument about deregulation, anything is just capitalist wet dream. Like, no, like everything needs to be regulated like crazy because every corporation is out to make squeeze as much profit available as possible.
Yep.
And our laws are set up to barely fine them when they get caught breaking the law.
That's right.
So we want maximum regulation, maximum penalties, all that, which is why, again, this democratic concept of abundance, which is just deregulation, is not the answer. You can't just say, oh, we have all this stuff, so let's stop spending money on policing the sewage level in our rivers. Like, that's just holding people back.
But yes, because they said, well, they gave the two options. Would you rather live under a bridge?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
live in the apartment building next to the bridge, but with lead poisoning in your water? Like, that's it. Those are your two choices. That's how broad their imagination goes, right? I mean,
those might be the only two, because you got a Democrat and a Republican. Those are the two options. Neither one of them has a fix. So that is accurate as hell.
I mean, truly, that's where it is. And yeah, that's right. I mean, PG took money that was intended to bury the electric power lines, gave it to their shareholders. It's so funny. They always talk about, like, legally we're bound to make money for our shareholders, and they're going to privatize everything. Why do we have privatized necessities? That's ridiculous. Water and electricity, all of that. But anyway, power line caused the fire that killed 100 people in Paradise, California. And do they ever pay their fines? Even if they do, it's a small percentage of what it would cost to redo the infrastructure of their plants and bury the lines or whatever it is. So they don't do it.
Their shareholders have never lost money on this stuff. They just keep getting richer and richer for being invested in PG&E because you've invested in a monopoly that owns fucking Gavin Newsom, the governor.
And something that is a necessity of life. So people have to pay for their water and their electricity.
Which is why we're socialists. We're socialists because these bare necessities in life should be a provided thing that we can all collect money from everybody for and handle. Roads, schools, fire department, education, housing, food.
Yep.
That can all be covered with our abundant society without deregulating our fucking pollution in the rivers.
But you can't have billionaires, Ro. You can't. And yeah, water is life. And never forget that Obama sent the National Guard in to protect the corporate ghouls who were doing the Dakota Access Pipeline and brutalized people who were protesting against it. That is really gross, though. That was really gross. And
in good, I want to offer some good news. Anyone who was here at the start of the show.
Yeah.
My cat shit in the beginning of the show to launch the shit show tonight. We know this. I forgot to mention this.
I thought peed. That's why I said the piss show. I didn't know he took a shit. I thought he peed.
Literal shit, gargling shit that I heard. I heard it before.
It's because you said you heard it, and I didn't know how you would hear the poo. But it was disgusting. Okay, got it.
On a pair of socks, problem solved with no cleanup, like minimal throwing away. So
it was that was what happened initially.
My dog crapped on my socks, not on the
Your
rug.
cat.
Yes, I mean, sorry, my cat crapped.
That's nothing.
Wanted to offer some good news. That's all I got. Good news. Your waste good socks.
So, I know we're sort of wrapping up, but before we do, we just wanted to, pour one out for Michael Parenti, the Eugene Debs Institute, fittingly putting out their notice. He passed away on the 24th yesterday. Revolutions are not push-button affairs. Rather, they evolve only if there exists a reservoir of hope and grievance that can be galvanized into popular action. And this is what he thought of the capitalist class.
In fact, we had something close to pure capitalism. I remember debating a businessman on this, and he kept talking about the free market, this, that, we didn't govern that. I said, you're describing something, and if only we could. I said, why must you talk about it as a hypothetical future that has never been given a chance? I said, we did that already. It's called 1890. In 1890, you had a very close approximation to a free market. And what did we have? We had contaminated foods and typhoid epidemics, cholera epidemics. The drinking water in Philadelphia was so contaminated, they had massive typhoid epidemics. We had 11-year-old kids working 14 hours a day in factories, free market, while grown men were unemployed. Young underage girls exploited in factories, used in every way, misused in every way in the free market. No government regulations, no bothersome feminists to come along and fill our heads with silly imaginary problems. We had an environment that was systematically pillaged and raped. We had unrestrained monopolies and trusts. We had mass poverty, unemployment. We had no pension programs, unsafe working conditions, a rate of accident and injury that was even higher than it is today. And we had very, very high profits. So you're right, capitalism was working at its best. And that is when capitalism works at its best. Not for the people, but for the capitalists. See, the whole essence of that system is that it has a performance and a goal that is for the people who own the system, not for the people who inhabit the country. And in that sense, it was a better system. And when that guy sits there and says, it was better, it'd be better if we had this, better if we had, he's talking from his class perspective. He honestly believes that would be better. And it would be so much better for him, he can't but help believe that it would be better for everyone else. And people always pose that. Well, do you think they really honestly think that is an ideology that it would be for the country, or it's their selfish class interest? As if this is either or. I always get a question, some variation of a question like that. That's not either or. Those are both the same thing. The fact that it so well serves their class interest makes it all the more compelling as a belief that it's good for everyone. And it's the right thing and it's the best thing.
That's it.
He has
right
so
there.
many great speeches and writings, but one thing that is amazing is that, like, they're all available on social media, which is fantastic.
For now.
Yeah, for now. Truly, like the number of people who were sharing videos, because they're like, when you pull back, you could see so many different people were recording what happened leading up to the murder of Alex Pretti. And so many people who posted said, please make sure you download this and save it before it's scrubbed. Because we all know, like, that's what's happening. They just took down the displays on slavery from the Smithsonian.
Yeah, they're whitewashing history, and whitewashing is literally whitewashing in this case. They're making this country as if it was just a bunch of white people created it from fucking nowhere. Like it didn't exist, and then white people came up and, hey, here we are.
Great. Look how great America is. It's great.
Yeah.
Great.
I saw a video maybe today or yesterday, but it was by a black guy, but it was clearly some like propaganda bullshit where he's like, oh, the US actually, we were the first people to end slavery. Slavery exists around the world. We're the first ones to get rid of it. That's the rewriting they want right there. Like, we're the good guys, even with slavery. Are you fucking kidding me?
The other thing is when people say, oh, it's a different time. Like, for whom? Do you think people who were enslaved enjoyed it because it was just a different time? Like, it's such a strange excuse. Like, it was a different time. It was just as horrendous and atrocious, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, but they act like you. Yeah, you're right. Like, as if there were not people that were at that time recognizing it was wrong. Like, everybody, there was always a conflict of like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is wrong. And those are the right people.
Yeah. It's, but again, like, this would not be possible. Like, anybody from New York knew who Trump was in the 80s. He was a disgusting piece of shit. He was a slum landlord. He cheated people out of their pay. He was horrible. But for the next 30 years, the Clintons still hung out with him and golfed with him and invited him and Ghislaine Maxwell to their daughter's wedding, like golfed with him, right? Like, none of this is a system that created him. He is atrocious, but like that doesn't happen by accident. He is just part of who they all are.
And we don't bounce back from that. Like, oh, we went too far right with the crazy guy, so it's going to all be better now. We're going to react and it's going to be all super left now. No, it's just like, all you got to do now with the ratchet effect is be just 5% better than that piece of shit.
Yeah. You're going to be Gavin Newsom, who's like, oh, California is going to join back with the WHO.
Yeah, exactly.
But no billionaire
don't tax billionaires.
Yeah.
Don't tax billionaires.
Veto.
You can tax them, but just not 1%. That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
That's Gavin Newsom. Like that's fucking too much. 1%.
Meanwhile,
we all pay 25 to 30.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not going to single them out and do class warfare.
Yeah.
Why would you? And get all those homeless people into those insane asylums that Trump's bringing back, that Newsom is fully on board with as he rolls his sleeves up.
That all you COVID denying motherfuckers enabled, by the way.
Truly. All right, we're winding down, but we didn't get to a few super chats, so we just want to make sure that we send our thanks and cheers. Justin, thank you. And yes, that Zach Polanski broadcast is so great. I love him.
Amen.
Lots of hope, and thank you. Citizen Mendejo, abolish ICE before ICE abolishes our right to bear arms. Cheers and thank you. Can God engineer a heaven that is crowded?
I
Trump
want it to be
doesn't
crowded.
Well,
I love that. Like putting that out there as your poster, make heaven crowded. It feels like an AI meme. Okay, this is what you want. This is what you want. All right.
Like, I don't believe in heaven. I'm not going there anyway. So great. If that's where you all want to go, get there faster.
Kirk heaven as fast as possible.
Right. Jezen, woman took antidepressant drugs en masse in the 50s. Yep. Mother's little helper. Yeah. We do not want to go back to that. And yet we are really steamrolling through. Yeah. Okay. You guys,
I think we're wrapping.
Comments. I'm looking, and we're really in deep shit because there's nobody who's against him from the left that we know about. Maybe somebody will come up, but like it's, there's going to be a crowded bank of shitty, slick, fancy, consulted, managed, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Josh Shapiro,
I mean, not to offer hope, but the hope I have is that we are all realizing how bleak 2028 looks if you think those are heroes. So this is our window to raise hell, and the violence happening needs to happen for us to raise the hell we need to get people to say, you can't be these kind of fucking shit libs in power. This is not working for society anymore. You both got to go. And we need a new social contract that includes us and not the billionaires.
Hear, hear, amen. I need to go finish this bottle of wine. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here with us. Truly, this community gives me hope, and we are forever grateful. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you Wednesday. We're so excited that Anthony Aguilar will be here, and we'll see you all then. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's been too